Swatika. My name is Genevieve, and I was in Asia for 4 months. We started out in Thailand. I went with the Co-Asia Term program, and first 2 months we spent in Thailand, then we took a recess and we traveled to Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia, and then we went back to Thailand. Our coursework was human rights based, and so part of that requirement was to do a service learning project. And I worked at an orphanage called the House of Love. It was a Christian-based orphanage, and all of the kids who were there were either abandoned or abused. Many lost their parents to HIV and AIDS, and many of them were actually HIV positive themselves. On a typical day, we would, my partner and I would arrive at the orphanage, and we would wait for the kids to get back from school, and we'd set up the dinner table. There was always a process and order to everything that we did. We'd set out all the chairs and the tables and get the dishes ready and washed. Everyone had their own silverware and their own bowl. The kids would arrive after school, and we'd all eat dinner together. Everyone had a job, everyone washed their own dishes. And then we would play games until it was dark outside, and then we'd do homework. It was really cool because when I first arrived there, I wasn't very proficient in Thai. We did take a Thai language course, but the kids really helped to improve my pronunciation, and they'd laugh at me when I got things wrong. But I would help them with their English homework. And after homework was done, we'd usually sing songs. They love listening to music. They love singing me songs in either Thai or English. It's funny, sometimes they didn't know what the words in English meant, so we'd get some interesting songs. And there was always showers before bed, and everyone always helped each other out. I really liked that aspect because it really was a family. After the showers, we'd head to bed, and every day was the exact same routine. Everyone knew what was going to happen, and I feel like that really helped to create a sense of stability for them. And they always knew what was going on. So I'd like to introduce you to my Thai family. They had 2 house mothers and a house father. They were hired staff that would live in the house with the children, and they would help them get ready for bed. They would help prepare meals, but essentially they were there for support. They were there to act as parental figures. There are a couple of the house moms, and then me and a few of the girls from the group. This is the house father, and this is one of my favorites. His name is Suti. He was just so active, so excited to see you whenever you walked in the door. He would go and he'd hug you, and we'd always play games with him. And I feel like he was disabled, and so a lot of times the other kids would get frustrated with him because he did require a lot of extra attention. But I think it was good for us to be there because we wanted to spend time with him, and we were able to give him the additional attention that he needed. This is Nung and Song. They're actually twins, and in Thai, Nung is 1 and Song is 2. And so they were always together. They were absolutely inseparable, and it was really funny because they'd like to remind us that they were very different, even though they were very similar. And it was really funny. Every time we'd run up, or they'd run up to us when we got there, and they'd always play games as to like, oh, do you know which one I am? And they'd always try and trick us, but we could tell them apart. This is Noi and Apen. Noi was obsessed with learning English. She loved to get her English book out, and we would spend hours just trying to have conversations in English. She told me she wanted to come and move to New York one day because she wanted to be American. And I always thought it was really funny because the other students, while they enjoyed learning English, Most of them planned on staying in Thailand, but I feel like knowing she was super bright and very motivated, and I think one day she might end up in New York. We'll see. This is Leap. She had a younger brother, and she always acted as the mother figure. She was the mediator all the time. She had a very good head on her shoulders, and she always wanted to resolve any issues that were happening. Since there were so many kids, I mean, there were about 20 children ranging in ages from 6 to 18. And so, of course, there were fights, there were arguments, and Leap was always there right in the middle trying to sort things out. And these are the teenage girls. It was really great because they had taken English for several years, so we were able to have pretty good conversations. It was really fun. We got to talk about school and their friends, and one of my favorites, we like to gossip about boys. And last, this is Jok and Hein, and they were the really rambunctious boys. They wanted to be the men. They were out there throwing balls around and tackling my friend and I who were there. Very active, and it was fun to hang out with them because they weren't afraid to tell you how it was. And they would play rough with you even though you're a girl. They expected you to be able to play sports and to keep up with them. It was fun. And so, yeah, that's about it. While I was there, I formed really strong bonds with the children, and I actually sent the pictures back with someone who is on the program now. And it's really great because I feel like even though I was only there for a couple of months, I'm going to remember them forever. They definitely made a mark on my life. And I hope that I had made some sort of difference in theirs. I know that a lot of people go in and out of there and they volunteer for small segments of time, but I hope that, I don't know, they'll remember me too. Thanks for listening.